Hello, I'm David Levins, and this is more exciting than episode 9. All I'm doing is sitting in my newly repaired van, watching the cars drive by on the freeway. See, the cars, they come from the horizon down there, and they drive forward. It makes sense. Cars come from over there. They drive forward and they go past me. And there's GSR Casino. It's stable. Doesn't move. I can sit and enjoy this scene for more than 5 seconds at a time, unlike episode 9. And I get to light my cigarette. Alright. So, it cost me $5 to go see this mess of a movie. And I went in with an open mind. I was ready to enjoy a good film. But that was not to be. Did you know the actual last movie I actually paid to actually see was episode 7? That was the last movie-going experience I had. I can't stand going to movies anymore because of the 40 minutes of trailers. And this was atrocious. I wanted to write a complaint to the theater. Some trailers they showed twice. The trailers I did like were for Black Widow and Wonder Woman and the live action version of Mulan. I liked the imagery. As far as the movie goes, I'm actually becoming critical of YouTube reviewers, especially the ones who just rehash what happened in the movie. They don't really add much. They just tell you the things that happen in the movies. They're not creative or critical in their analysis of the film. Not that this film deserves any analysis whatsoever. To me, it felt like a project for college that they threw together, and there was a deadline, and they crammed to get everything in, and they were up all night getting it ready for the first screening. That's a bad movie. I tried to like it. I tried to sit back and enjoy it, but the movie itself didn't allow me to. It kept interrupting with the atrociously bad dialogue, which Star Wars is famous for, but people overlook. They cannot hire anyone to write good dialogue for these two-dimensional characters. I don't know why. They seem to have money to hire 5,000 people, but they can't do a thing with the dialogue. I felt this movie was aimed at 14-year-old boys with ADD. It's a really stupid movie in so many parts. That one version of the movie I would actually watch is where everyone is just silent and I could just watch the amazing and beautiful visuals that they managed to achieve. The dialogue interrupts everything. Let's see. The worst part of the movie for me was the Han Solo scene, where it just made me cringe and feel really uncomfortable. There was no need to have Harrison Ford appear as a real person with such clarity. And yeah, it was inside Kylo Ren's mind. But he appears so real. It's just ridiculous and stupid. Did nothing for me. Alright, so that was the worst part of the movie. The second aspect that I didn't think worked in the context of the film was the whole Princess Leia thing. That was a badly managed affair. Ugh. And then there was a scene where they were acting. Let's see, Poe, Finn, and Rey, where their dialogue overlapped and they're in this forest environment somewhat. They were trying to be good actors, but the dialogue is so crappy that it has no meaning or relevance. So there's no reason for them to talk since they have nothing to say. Nothing to say that propels the story forward. It could just be a movie without dialogue, and you just have the characters do things to tell the story. They forgot to do some of that. It was even stupid at the final scene where Rey returns to Luke Skywalker's house. There's an old lady there. The point of the movie seems to be that Rey doesn't know what her last name is. I wanted to have fun with this movie. I just wasn't allowed to. So, I liked a couple of examples my brother gave about the film as it relates to a plate of food, but one or two of the side dishes is undercooked and there's mold in the Jell-O. The bananas have gone wrong in the Jell-O salad and the grapes are withered. Let's say spaghetti and meatballs, and then the bread is a little bit too hard, and it's just not a good meal. The whole movie is like a buffet table, and since it doesn't explain anything, you're expected to put together what they give you, and you tell yourself the story of what is happening because the movie doesn't really do it. There's no narrative structure. It's as if the filmmakers just did all their filming and then they dropped all the footage in the editing room and they went on vacation, and the editors were stuck with this mess of footage that they didn't know what to do with. It all feels rushed. Let's see. There are a lot of things to like, but a re-edit of the movie seems to be necessary. Someone who knows what they're doing could make a better film out of this. I didn't know where I was or what was happening on the screen for the entire film. I didn't know what the characters were going for or why they were doing anything. They're likable characters, but they're just not developed. Finn was given more to do. He's a great actor. Poe, I'm sick of. He was made general by Leia, who argued with him a lot in episode 8. Poe is not a general, so It was nice seeing Lando, kind of. But he's too old for this stuff. Chewbacca was just there for no reason at all. The movie makes me just want to pick it apart and critique it. But really, it's not really worth it. So visually, it gets an A. The actors are good, but the lines of dialogue are bad. Everyone in the world should see this movie. The music kept getting interrupted by the bad dialogue. So, yeah, give it a try. Go play some Mozart and then get some retarded kid to talk over it. That's what it felt like. I was excited just to see the movie, just to be done with it, and then I can rewrite all of Star Wars the way I want it. So, you start with episode 4, and then, in my version of Star Wars, Luke and Leia just are not Darth Vader's children. That's just silly and stupid. Why does everyone have to be related in the series of films? Just stupid. I like Darth Vader when he was just a bad guy. That's what made everyone like him. Then to have all these family bonds everywhere, it just got kind of mushy from there. It was better when there was a love triangle between Han, Luke, and Leia, and both the men were vying for the princess's attention. And then you get into like domestic squabbles between Han and Leia, and I gotta keep this clean for YouTube, which sucks. 12 and a half minutes talking about a movie that isn't that good. It's an A on some things, an F on others. I was throwing my hands up at different moments because I didn't want to talk out loud in the theater. So, just the stupidity in the film ruined it for me.